if you have ever wondered how does an EGR works, we are going to dismantle it and show the all the parts, inner parts, explain how does it fail and why does it fail. Have an in-depth look in it, in its construction and the principle of working. First of all, we have the exhaust inlet part, where all this happens. In the other video you can see the part of the exhaust pipe that comes right to here. You can see a bit of crust, some debris, oil, diesel, and lots of suds. Even with the gasket and the hard tightening of the bolts, it managed to escape to all the sides. So the exhaust gases come from this side. This is the, I can get the better angle so you can see it. This is the part that contracts or goes upwards, inwards, whatever, and let the gas flow in this chamber, and next being pulled in the intake and then in the combustion chambers. And this is the tricky part, or the part that fails. The vacuum chamber inside with the rubber part that fails, so it loses the vacuum, starts to leak and stops pulling this, we call it the metal mushroom, up. And now you can see it. I can manually open it. You can see the vacuum being, all this chamber being actuated right now by my hand, but because it failed, you can hear it it blow bys. So when the vacuum hits this port, this contracts. So a quick look up on the plan of the position and the function of the EGR in this particular TDI engine. So the engineers found out that the small portion of the exhaust gases combined with the fresh mixer in the combustion chambers reduces the combustion temperatures in the cylinders and reduces the amount of the NOx going out in the atmosphere. So the EGR was a great solution for today modern vehicles, which tend to be very green. So how does it work? We have the bypass exhaust pipe from the exhaust manifold that goes straight throughout to the our EGR. So from the our boost hose, or the hose where the fresh air is coming from the turbine, from the intercooler, ready to enter the intake plenum and the cylinders, passes through our EGR on the low RPM. The vacuum module is giving enough vacuum to the vacuum chamber of the EGR and actuating the mechanism in it to open, and releases the gases that are waiting pressurized from the positive pressure in the exhaust manifold, ready for this to be opened and release the small portion of the exhaust gases to enter here and continue its travel with the fresh air into each of the 4 cylinders. So that's about it. Also, as it is drawn, I need to mention the most of today's vehicles have the EGR cooler. It's also a very simple mechanism that runs the coolant through the specialized fins in it. So you can have the lower temperature of these gases, which is important for the performances, but also a great thing for people living in the colder weather countries, in every actually country, because your car gets warmed up very quickly. So also the gas mileage is greater with it. So after destroying this sturdy metal head, actually the vacuum chamber, you can have the access to the inner portion of it and to have a better look on how does it function, or in this case how it doesn't. So this is it, all the magic. This is where the vacuum enters this port, the vacuum chamber itself. Of course, it's spring loaded. Spring sits right here and contracts the moving part back to the closure, and this is it. This is the rubber cap that uses to seal the vacuum chamber and actually makes the entire lift of the system. Now you can see it function a bit. It's fairly simple mechanism, but with cheap copies like this, it's very prone to failure. You can see there is too much oil and debris in every single part of it. So I don't see any actual damage on this gummy rubber whatever part, but I suspect the under high pressure, high boost, the with these cheap copies, the oily air manages to enter this chamber and technically destroy it, probably with all the oil, making it won't seal properly. So this is all the magic that happens, in particular this vacuum activated EGR. The only good thing it is much more cheaper than the electric actuated one. It never goes in this high, but for the purpose of this video. Probably because it's cheaper, there is a bigger tolerance here, so the oil gets in under high pressure, like these 2.0 TDIs that generate the more pressure in the inlet. So that was it. Dismantling the vacuum activated EGR from Audi TDI model. On the next video we are going to do the in-tank fuel pump, actually the inner portion of it, not the whole part with the position level of the fuel, but just the particular pumping mechanism. That's it for this video. Subscribe, like, and wait for the new one.